A man alone in his house. His partner's out walking the dog. Then the screaming starts. TikTok user Corey says the sounds were coming from the basement. First an odd noise that played twice, then what sounded like laughter, and then a shriek, like a girl screaming at the top of her lungs.
And then it also played like a very loud shrieking noise of a girl screaming, so...
He managed to record the audio on his phone in his own words, mind-numbingly loud.
I don't know, it came from the basement. It was just mind-numbingly loud.
After 5 minutes, he grabbed a knife and went down to check. The basement looked normal, but there were a couple of rooms he couldn't bring himself to open, so he did the next best thing, wedged pillows up against the closed doors. If anything moved during the night, he'd know.
So I could go back and see if anything had moved the next day from my video I was taking.
He and his partner didn't stay, they packed up the dog and left. The next morning, his partner went back alone. Corey told her to check the pillows.
And this is what she sent me. Well, this is the original, this is what she sent me. Normal, video, next day.
They'd been moved. Suspecting someone might actually be living in the house, Corey installed 2 cameras, one in the bonus room, one on the main floor. What they captured was worse than he expected. The dog spent the entire day pacing up and down the stairs, stopping to stare into one particular room, whimpering.
The dog just went up and down all day and just stared into a room and just whimpering back and forth. We're not gonna pretend like the decor up there is normal by any means.
Then the camera cut out.
And then the camera did the weirdest thing, it just went blank.
The clips racked up over 1 million views and the comments can't agree on what's going on. Intruder, squatter, something else. One of the few scary videos this year where even the top replies are split down the middle.
Y curiosamente escuché que algo se cayó.
An empty supermarket after midnight, one night shift worker, and shelves that won't stop emptying themselves.
No sé, es muy extraño todo esto. Se cayeron unas fechas.
TikTok user, Artec_18, works the overnight at an Herrera bodega in Mexico. Over the last few months, he's been uploading clips of what's happening around him while he's alone in the building. In his own words, translated from Spanish, and I heard something fall. I didn't see what it was, and for a while now I've been hearing strange noises. A few more things have fallen.
No sé, es muy extraño todo esto. Se cayeron unas fechas.
A few nights later, he films another aisle.
No mames, acabo de escuchar como... Ya no sé si reírme de nervios, reírme por no llorar, ya no sé ni qué hacer. Tú como, sácate a la verga.
A pink ball rolls across the floor by itself. He panics and runs.
Por no llorar, ya no sé ni qué hacer. Tú como, sácate a la verga.
In the next clip, he notices something at the end of the aisle.
Ahí es donde se asomó. Y la verdad me da mucho miedo estar viniendo a asomarme para acá. Se está moviendo esa porquería. No te muevas, no te muevas. No, 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 no.
The trolley shifts. As he walks closer, a second trolley starts moving.
¿Qué es eso? Se está moviendo el carro. No te muevas, no te muevas. No, 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 no.
Then the back of the store, he hears high-pitched sounds from the production kitchen.
Ya realmente no sé qué es lo que voy a hacer. Ya no entiendo ni qué es lo que está... ¡A su puta madre! ¿Qué es eso?
Down a narrow aisle, you can see two objects sitting in the distance.
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué se ve ahí al fondo? ¡Oh, no mames!
They topple over and the space is too tight and too cramped for anyone to be hiding in.
¿Qué se ve ahí al fondo? ¡Oh, no mames!
As the uploads went viral, he started live streaming his shifts. The activity kept coming.
Ya no entiendo qué está pasando.
In the most recent clip, he's doing paperwork at his station when two trolleys start rolling on their own.
Ya nada más me pongo yo mismo nervioso, ya no sé qué es lo que pasa aquí. No mames. Otra vez no, otra vez no, otra vez. Anda que me está dando chingo de miedo. No mames, no, sácate a la verga ya.
Skeptics will point to vibrations, ventilation, and the obvious viral incentive to keep the content coming. And fair, once a clip hits millions, the motivation to keep delivering is real. But the live stream tire collapse is the part that's hard to wave away. An audience watching in real time, an empty store, and something going out of its way to be noticed. Among the scary videos trending out of Latin America this year, this is the one Reddit keeps dragging back to the front page.
Otra vez no, otra vez no, otra vez. Anda que me está dando chingo de miedo. No mames, no, sácate a la verga ya. Ya no sé ni a dónde mierda esconderme.
A woman recording a TikTok alone in her house hears someone call her name.
Okay, first of all, why didn't anyone tell me that if you have yeah?
She calls back, assuming it's her housemate. Then she remembers nobody else is home.
My bad. So I forgot. I didn't think about it. I'm home alone, and I thought someone called me, and
We covered this one late last year. The uploader's name is Melody, and many viewers thought she'd encountered a mimic, something copying her housemate's voice to get her attention.
Melody, Melody, Melody.
Now there's an update, and it's worse than anyone expected.
Warning: if you scare easy, this made my stomach drop. So
In a follow-up video that's now past 2 million views, Melody says commenters started pointing out something in her older footage. A clip where she'd been showing off some flowers.
it was my birthday, right? And I got these flowers. Boom. They're dying. I know. That's not weird because it's me. Okay? They die.
She didn't see it at first, but when she went back and zoomed in, there was a figure standing in the doorway behind her. It gets worse. A few clips later, she receives a missed call from an unknown number. When she checks her voicemail, this is what she hears. The audio is rough, but after thousands of comments comparing notes, most people settle on the same transcription. Hi Melody, it's me. You asked if I was real. I am. You asked if I can see you. I've never stopped. Love you. And then, the most recent update. Melody says she came home one night after 2 in the morning, locked the doors, had a shower. She was getting ready for bed when her phone buzzed. Her Ring camera had detected motion at the front door. She didn't have a subscription, so she couldn't watch the clip back, but the app saves a thumbnail from each alert. She pulled it up and zoomed in. A man's face pressed close to the camera, or something close enough to a man's face that the difference almost doesn't matter. Melody pulled up a YouTube video of a man's voice and played it through the camera's speaker, hoping whatever was out there would hear it and think someone was home. Then she watched the live feed until she fell asleep.
YouTubed man voice saying like hello, so I could play it through the thing so they could think it's a man in here. That's all I could come up with. Wait, I was just watching the live thing till I fell asleep.
A voice that knew her name, a figure in a doorway she hadn't seen, a voicemail that called her by name, and now something standing at her door in the middle of the night, close enough to fog the lens. 4 clips, 1 woman, and whatever's doing this isn't finished. A man has abandoned his house. He now sleeps at his girlfriend's place with his cat, refusing to go back. The reason is a single photo. He says he'd been hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen for years, never during the day, always at night, shuffling, creaking, sounds he couldn't place. So one night, he opened his Samsung's night vision mode and took a photo in complete darkness. No lights on, just the faint glow of the street lights through the windows. There in the kitchen doorway is what appears to be a bearded man, a figure he swears was not there when he pressed the shutter. Samsung's night vision mode doesn't add anything to a photo, it amplifies the light that's already there, which raises the question, if the figure wasn't there when he took the photo, what was it doing in his kitchen that the camera could see and he couldn't? He's refused to go back to the house since, and now sleeps at his girlfriend's with his pet he calls Mr. Cat.
Cause something might catch my attention.
Over the skyline of New Orleans, something dark and tentacled is drifting through the clouds.
Cause something might catch my attention while I'm driving, and then I'm gonna keep looking at it. And then I've been in.
When the clip went live, comments piled in within hours, a Dementor from Harry Potter, a giant squid, something out of Lovecraft. Most viewers couldn't make sense of the sighting.
While I'm driving, and then I'm gonna keep looking at it.
The most likely answer is more grounded. Novelty kites shaped like octopuses and squids are surprisingly common, and from a distance, against a flat grey sky, they look genuinely unsettling. The one thing that nags, no visible string, no handler on the ground, and the way it moves doesn't quite match a kite caught in wind. Probably just a kite. Probably.
Driving, and then I'm gonna keep looking at it. And then I've been in.
A door swings shut on its own.
What the? Leave us alone!
A mother in the room calls out.
Leave us alone. We're not scared of you anymore. Leave us alone. Just sit back down. Just sit back down. I'm not waking up the baby for it. This is crazy.
The footage comes from her home security camera. There's no hand on the door, no breeze, no explanation. She isn't talking to a person.
Leave us alone. We're not scared of you anymore. Leave us alone.
Moments later, this happens.
Just sit back down. I'm not waking up the baby for it. This is crazy. Leave us alone. What the? Okay.
What's hit viewers the hardest isn't the moving furniture, it's her delivery. She doesn't sound afraid, she sounds done, like this has happened before, and she stopped bothering to react to it. But But there's one more detail that takes this footage to another level. Watch the very beginning closely. A shadow scoots along the floor, and on the wall behind her, an upside-down crucifix. Of all the Poltergeist scary videos doing the rounds this month, this is the one where a mother is more annoyed than terrified, and somehow that makes it worse.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Oh, come on, baby.
A group of girls pose for a casual photo at a spa. Behind them, in the pool, something's staring. A face, partially submerged, eyes locked directly on the camera. The photo's been floating around old paranormal forums for years, posted by an uploader whose identity has long since been lost. The girls in the photo say there was no one else in the pool when they took it. No swimmer, no waiter, just them. Skeptics chalk it up to water reflections and pareidolia, the brain doing what brains do, but the face in this one is too clean, too centered, and too directly aimed at the lens to feel accidental.
The water's running hard.
Deep in the wilderness of British Columbia, far from any trail, a man finds something carved into the rocks that shouldn't be there.
I'm not sure if I can make it any further than that.
Markings etched into stone, weathered and old, in a spot well away from any known settlement. Terry Milford, who shared the footage on Facebook, says they look almost Egyptian.
I made it to the Egyptian carving.
But what really got viewers talking isn't the carvings.
The water's running hard.
It's what Milford says happened while he was filming. He claims he spotted a shadow figure standing in the tree line watching him. The camera never caught it. He just felt it there.
The water's running hard.
Out-of-place markings in remote forests aren't unheard of. British Columbia has a deep history of Indigenous rock art going back thousands of years, and to an outsider, those carvings can look like something far older or stranger than they are. That probably accounts for the etchings.
Yeah, it's crazy getting here. Holy.
The figure in the trees is harder to dismiss. Among the scary videos coming out of paranormal forums this year, it's one of the few where the witness walked away convinced he wasn't alone, and the carving was sitting right there to back him up.
I made it to the Egyptian carving. Yeah, it's crazy getting here. Holy.
And wow, can you see?
Look up at the sky for long enough and you start seeing things you can't account for. This footage is what happens when someone points a camera at it and lets it roll.
And I didn't zoom in on this one, on this like I normally do, so you're getting a farther and a bigger part of the sky.
Recorded on the 23rd of March this year, 5 minutes of night sky, sped up to 1 minute.
This was March 23rd of this year. This is 5 times the speed, so it's 5 minutes of video into 1 minute.
In the foreground, the kind of orbs the uploader usually films. Bright, darting points of light, moving in ways that don't match aircraft, satellites, or insects.
You just see all of them that's in there. I mean, we've got the ones in the front that you normally see that I try to get as zoom in closer on, but this one I'm trying to get as much of the sky as I could.
But it's the background that's got people watching this on repeat.
But look in the background. If you got a laptop or something that you can use, or a big screen TV, wow.
Dozens more lights scattered across the sky, moving independently. Some drift, some change direction, some blink.
How many that there actually is, it's kind of creepy just a little bit to see how many there is. It's amazing.
The footage was shared by Max_sees_things23, who's been logging the sky over his property for months. In his own words, it's kind of creepy just a little bit to see how many there is.
Kind of creepy just a little bit to see how many there is. It's amazing.
Time-lapse footage will turn ordinary satellites into things that look like they're chasing each other. That probably accounts for the bulk of what's on screen here, but not all of it. Ohio is about to put a cryptid on the ballot. On the 17th of April, State Representatives Tristan Ryder and Gene Schmidt introduced House Bill 821, a bipartisan move to designate the Loveland Frogman as Ohio's official state cryptid. The creature, a 4-foot upright amphibian, has been reported along the Little Miami River since the 1950s. In 1972, a Loveland police officer pulled his weapon on it. If HB 821 passes, Ohio becomes the first US state in history to legally recognize a cryptid. From a cryptid on the ballot to a man back from the dead. A Russian man was declared clinically dead. 5 hours of resuscitation later, doctors brought him back. In Mirny, Yakutia, he walked home from a night out, sat down on a bench and fell asleep at minus 20 degrees Celsius. His core temperature dropped to 24. Over 4 hours, medical staff warmed him to 34 degrees. Then they started CPR. First faint pulse at 25 minutes. Full stability at 5 hours, 34 minutes. 1 day in an induced coma. Kidneys intact. Discharged 5 days later. From a body brought back to life to an object pulled out of the ground, a construction crew dug up a 12-foot cross this week. Nobody can explain where it came from. Workers breaking ground for an industrial park in Hounsfield, New York, next to Watertown International Airport, pulled the concrete structure from the soil. Rebar and a steel pipe through the core confirm it was man-made. Jefferson County has no property record of it. The FAA has no map reference. Hounsfield's planning archive has no permit. No church, no landowner, no contractor has claimed it. A 12-foot cross. Buried, and no one will say they put it there. From an object with no origin to an object whose origin just got complicated. The Shroud of Turin has India in its DNA. A University of Padova team led by Dr. Gianni Barcaccia analysed dust vacuumed from the cloth in 1978. The breakdown, 55.6% Near Eastern, 38.7% Indian, 5.6% European. 2 theories are in circulation. The first, that fine Indian linen was imported to Jerusalem for the garments of the high priest. The second, the older legend that Jesus spent his lost years travelling through India. Scientific American has flagged methodological weaknesses with the study. The Vatican hasn't distanced itself. From one ancient question the Vatican won't answer to another asked in Washington under oath. Hillary Clinton was asked on camera under oath about Gilgamesh. In a deposition released earlier this year, Representative Anna Paulina Luna asked the former Secretary of State whether she'd ever inquired about or been denied access to UAP files or any material referred to as Gilgamesh during her time in office. Clinton answered that she'd never asked, so she'd never been denied. She added that the public deserves transparency. Gilgamesh is the name attached to a long-running theory that the 2003 Iraq invasion was a cover for recovering the tomb of the Sumerian king, and the material believed to be buried with it. The question was asked. The answer is on the record. And that's your weird news wrap-up. Back to the countdown. A photographer steps out of a 12th century Italian castle at night, raises his Canon camera and snaps one last shot of the courtyard before leaving. Nothing seems out of place. The courtyard is empty. He says goodbye to the caretaker and a couple of other visitors and heads home. It's not until the next morning, looking back through the photos on his computer, that he sees something eerie. Standing in the courtyard where there'd been no one when he pressed the shutter is the impression of a person. The photo was taken by Alessandro Carpena on the night of October 20th, 2013 at Castello Malaspina in Fosdinovo, Italy. A medieval fortress perched in the Tuscan hills with a long reputation for hauntings, cold spots, strange sounds, fleeting shadows, the kind of place where staff stop being surprised. Carpena says he's shown the photo to scholars and to the castle's caretaker, Lady Mina. None of them have an explanation. The figure isn't blurred, it isn't moving, it's standing still, clearly humanoid, clearly there, in a courtyard the photographer swears was empty. Of all the scary videos and photos to come out of Castello Malaspina over the years, this is the one nobody, not even the people who work there, can talk away.
What the f***? God damn it.
A woman in Montreal is woken in the middle of the night by a hum she can feel in the walls. When she gets to the window, she stops cold.
What the f***? That is not a goddamn airplane. Why the f*** is it so close? What the actual f*** is that?
Lights hovering above the skyline.
I don't know what the f*** this is. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm kind of freaking out at the moment. Let me see if I can try to... What the f*** is going on right now?
She grabs her phone.
I don't know what the f*** this is. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm kind of freaking out at the moment. Let me see if I can try to... What the f*** is going on right now?
The footage was shared on X by a self-described military intelligence analyst, and she wasn't the only one filming.
It is... That one sounded more like multiple planes, but the other one had a very deep humming. And there's no base nearby. I don't know what's going on.
Throughout December 2024, residents across Montreal posted to Reddit and Instagram describing the same thing. Strange formations of lights between 2 and 4 in the morning, and the same unsettling hum. People described it as almost mechanical, felt as much as heard. Some pointed to Festalumi, the city's winter light installation, others to drones. Neither explained the coordinated movement, neither explained the lateral acceleration, and neither explained why people across different neighborhoods all said they could feel the sound in their bones.
Multiple planes, but the other one had a very deep humming. And there's no base nearby.
Drones don't typically produce low-frequency hums you feel through apartment walls. Light installations don't streak across the sky, and military intelligence analysts don't tend to post footage they can easily identify.
What the f***? That is not a goddamn airplane. Why the f*** is it so close? What the actual f*** is that?
If you want to see more scary videos like these, then hit that subscribe button and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll always know when we drop our creepy video compilations.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you, the ultra-terrestrials, I think, they're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future.
She was 34 years old, an anti-gravity researcher working on propulsion technology that could change how we understand flight. And in the months before she died, she said her life was in danger.
I'm scared. I'm tired. I'm real tired. I need to disclose soon, man. I need to publish soon because it's like escalating. It's getting more and more aggressive.
Her name was Amy Eskridge.
And now I'm like, I have to publish. I have to publish because like it's only going to get worse until I publish. There's no way out of this. There's no way out of this situation until I publish.
On the 11th of June 2022, Eskridge was found dead in Huntsville, Alabama. Authorities recorded the cause as a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. But almost 4 years on, neither the police nor the medical examiner's office has released a public investigative report. Her father, retired NASA engineer Richard Eskridge, says there's nothing suspicious. Scientists die also, he told News Nation, just like other people. Except there's the matter of what she said before she died. In a 2020 interview with researchers Jeremy Rice and Mark Sokol, released in full only after her death, Eskridge described an escalating campaign against her. People breaking into her apartment and going through her personal belongings. Threats, she said, had been building for years.
This has been going on for like I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And over the past 12 months, it's been like escalating, like more aggressive, more invasive, digging through my digging through my underwear drawer and threats.
In her own words,
I'm scared. I'm tired. I'm real tired. I need to disclose soon, man. I need to publish soon because it's like escalating. It's getting more and more aggressive.
in the same interview, she said this.
If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news.
She co-founded a research outfit called the Institute for Exotic Science with her father, a platform she said existed specifically to make sure her work couldn't be quietly buried. The institute is now defunct. Its website is offline. In 2020, she requested NASA approval to publish what she called novel foundational research on anti-gravity. She never got to present it. 2 years later, she was dead. Eskridge has now been added to a growing list of US scientists with ties to classified aerospace, nuclear, and UFO-related research who've died or vanished since 2022. 11 names so far. Among them, Michael David Hicks, a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, dead July 2023. Frank Mywald, also at JPL, dead July 2024. Jason Thomas, a pharmaceutical researcher, missing since December 2025 and found dead in March of this year. And of course, Major General William McCasland, the retired US Air Force officer with rumored ties to alleged UFO programs, who vanished from his Albuquerque home earlier this year. We covered his disappearance in detail back in March. Last week, the story crossed a threshold that conspiracy theories rarely cross. President Trump was asked about it directly. His response: "Pretty serious stuff, I hope it's random. We're going to know in the next week and a half." White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the same day that the administration is working with the FBI to review the cases together and identify any potential commonalities. Skeptics have a clean explanation: 11 scientists across multiple fields, deaths spread across years. The base rate for tragedy in any large professional cohort is real. Adversarial nations have always tried to neutralize American expertise, and most of these cases will probably turn out to be exactly what they appear to be. But Amy Eskridge said her life was in danger. She said it on camera, she said it in her own words, and the people in charge of investigating it haven't released a report in almost 4 years. She was 34. She had a research institute. She had work she wanted the world to see. And whatever she meant when she said they would burn down her house in the night, she's not around to be asked.
If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some of our longer compilations, then check out those 2 links right there. Remember to leave us some feedback in the comments down below. We love reading them. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Peace.